Yeah, today we got a nice stack of comics that I've been pecking at for the past probably week and a half. I've been behind. I haven't been putting out my single issues. I just had a pile that I've been reading, trying to read at least one or two comics a night once I get done with all my packing and everything else stuff. So figured I'd run through these, see how much I can remember of them. Probably forgot more than I remember. But starting out with Ghostlight Tales, picked this up through one of the Kickstarter style platforms. I don't think it was Kickstarter. I want to say this is probably on Zoop or whatever it's called. But what is the Ghostlight? It's up there on an empty stage in an otherwise dark theater, lighting the way. But it's more than that. You've seen it. We've all seen it. That strange glow out there, deep in the woods, that flash out of the corner of your eye, something bright and fleeting flickering in the reflection of a mirror. It's an afternoon thunderstorm. It's a creaky floorboard in an otherwise empty house. It's the reason the attic light is burning that dull orange way up there at the top of those stairs, and you don't remember ever pulling the cord to turn it on. But what is the ghost light, really? Okay, we'll let you in on a secret. It's where the stories come from. Not all of them, of course, but the lasting one, the scary ones, the ones that stick with you long after you've closed your eyes, or tried to, at least. Open this book if you dare and follow the ghost light. And there's a good variety of tales in here. Uh, Starts out with a little host welcoming, introducing you to the book and stuff. We get into a story about a girl that's possibly going to pass away, and we find out why she is uh, introduced to a certain character. That was one of my least favorite stories in this book. They started out pretty strong with a pretty gruesome story that I hope kids don't read. I hope this is more of an adult fascination with this book. I'm not really liking where they started that story out. I thought it was pretty depressing. Uh, but stories get a little better throughout the book. But when I bought this, it was because of someone that does kids stuff. So I was hoping more like a R.L. Stein type of look. But in between each story, you get a little prose style novel that pops in. I got a little scary bedtime story where a kid's afraid to be alone at night, and you find out why. Got some interesting imaginative things that happen to come out of his bed. Got some more little stories throughout this book. It's done well the way they laid it all out and threw in these different spooky stories between with the little written stories in between and all that, and like finding out that you're on a strange and distant planet somewhere. Just, there's a fun one with a bunch of zombies type characters running around. But yeah, it's like the artwork in here throughout is enjoyable. The stories are somewhat enjoyable. I was really shocked that they started that first one off like that, with this being a book created by people that are associated with children type items. That story just kind of depressed me, but could just be me. I could be wrong, but there are other great stories in there, so check that out. And then we got Deadpool Wolverine #1. If you caught my video a while back, you find out that I finally watched the Deadpool storyline, the Deadpool Wolverine movie storyline. I don't know. Looking at the storyline for the book, but yeah, you got writer Benjamin Percy, color artist Guru FX, artist Joshua Cassara, letter bases Joe Sabino, and I'm sure there were a variety of cover artists in this one. But we get to see a certain character's funeral and Deadpool just happening to appear and take the person because he needs something that the person has, and kind of interrupts the funeral progression throughout. And then we get to see Wolverine go into the bar, or Deadpool go into the bar to hook up with Wolverine, and it's kind of makes you feel like you're rewatching the movie, but this honestly would have been better than what they did with the Wolverine Deadpool movie. I would have rather seen this in the film. But yeah, this was interesting what they did with our two characters. I enjoyed it. I will definitely check out more of those. I think I have at least the first few pre ordered. Then we're on Hyde Street, issue 4. This is a wonderful story. It gives you a Frankenstein feel to it. Storytellers are G.F. Johns and Ivan Reese, inker Danny Micah, colorist Brad Anderson, letterer Rob Lay, and a variety of covers for this. Uh, Basically, you have an actor that's being asked to appear in basically an Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein style movie, and he's not too interested in it because the character doesn't have much depth, doesn't really have any words to say other than the old Frankenstein grunts and groans. But they end up getting him to do it, and he gets make-upped up and happens to see some other big character that he thinks is taking his role over, and he kind of snaps and goes off. But yeah, these are a lot of fun. You get to see the evil little characters and whose lives they're trying to destroy at the time. Then we got the Lucky Devils #1. Got the sketch cover, but nicely it has cover 8 on it also. Got our squirrel coming up to the door to say, "Hey, where's my nuts?" But we find out that people just happen to have a little devil that likes to whisper things into their ears and get them to do certain things. And we get to meet a couple characters that are dealing with these lucky little devils, and two of the devils are trying to make a pact with their humans to see what they can do, if they can try and do something different for once and get the humans to follow along in their plans. And I don't think anything's gonna come out good for the humans with this. I think it's all just to benefit our little devils, but yeah, it's interesting. I'm looking forward to that. The sad thing is, I think this is scheduled for like a 12 issue run or something like that to start, whereas I was really bummed that 8 Billion Genies was such a short run. I was hoping that one would go further, but and then we got Resurgence of the Valiant Universe Bloodshot. This is writer Fred Van Lant, artist Rodrigo Roca and Leo Lewan, color by Brucia Studio, flats by Ludwig Alima, letters by Ezekiel and Bernie. Basically, in this one, we have a big battle between Bloodshot and Rye. They're kind of get to see both aspects of these characters, uh, see their differences, their commonalities, and all that. And they just, I love that we got the Bloodshot dog in here. But yeah, they get into a big old battle, and duke it out, and we get to see why they're fighting, what's going on, what it's dealing with the Valiant Universe, and it's a big old basically a huge nanite battle between our two characters. But then we go into Resurgent, the Valiant Universe Finale, uh, where we have basically dragged into the fairway. Young geomancer Tama came face to face with her fate. Desperate under the heavy revelation of her future death, she accepted her role as the geomancer of the faraway and called, I always say faraway, it just sounds better than saying faraway. Faraway just seems too never ending story ish, ish. But so I'm not sure which way it's supposed to be said, but that I like faraway better. And called her protector, the eternal warrior, to her side. Power harnessed was such that everyone around Galad was sucked into the portal. Now both sides of the fight for immortality find themselves in the fairway. We got Silk side that has Dr. Augustus Silk, K. McHenry, Roku, Warmonger, Eternal Warrior, Flamingo, Bloodshot, Eidolon, and Master Dark. And then we got Ivar's side, which is Time Walker, with Sandria Dark, Tama, Ninjak, Punk Mambo, Exo Man of War, Armstrong, Faith, Obadiah, and Mary Maria Archer, Rye, Livewire, Psylord, Shadow Man, and Quantum and Woody. And there's so many great characters in here. So much fun. We're seeing Punk Mambo getting tortured in the beginning, and she's got to deal with what's happening with Silk and everything. And while she's being put through there, we get to see Shadow Man appear, and we end up in a big old battle going on there, which takes us to all our other characters that are in battle. This is a beautiful scene. I just love that scene. And where is it? I gotta get a good picture of. Pretty sure it was in this issue, not the other issue. But yeah, there's lots of things happening. They're battling away, trying to take out Silk, and while they're doing that, there we go. Come on. I know there's a good picture. I love how we have Ninjak or Riot and Bloodshot formed together, and then we end up seeing them in battle with each other, and then we get to see a separation of the characters and all that, and then we get into some more characters that Faith ends up coming across and trying to deal with them, and it was well done. I really enjoyed how they put all these characters from different factions together, and it's definitely pulled me in. I wanted to read as much as they brought out, but I don't know where it's going to end now because it looks like they're still going on with things. Stories are going to get deeper and deeper, but yeah, those two worked out great together. If you get those two books and read them together, they worked out wonderfully in giving you the gist of what's been happening and where the storyline's going. Then we got Shiver SuspenStories, another sketch cover. Doesn't have the regular cover underneath, but we got. I don't. They're not going to give me. Oh, we got a variety. Yeah, there's a lot of different people that worked on these. But again, you're getting a bunch of different little horror stories. We start out with some children being read a scary story, and they're kind of a freaky family of characters. But the first story basically called The Last Ornament. I'm not going to try and read that, but it's the last ornament where we see these old ornaments that are part of the family's heritage as families growing older and dying off, and the ornaments are gradually disappearing. And we find out that the ornaments happen to have some life to them, and there's a wonderful little twist in a way to keep Christmas going for many years to come for that family. We got Ghost in the Machine, where we get some time travel of some characters that happen to go back in time to tell themselves something to try and get their younger self to not screw up stuff in the future. And along the way, you're doing a bunch of time traveling, you're reintroducing yourself to many more versions of yourself, and that can cause a lot of issues in the future. And we have uh lady in the mall that happens to steal something that she's not supposed to, and or take something that she's not supposed to, and we find out why, because she's got a sick son at home, and there's a reason that she took what she needed. And all these are short stories, so it's so easy to ruin them. So I'm trying not to, but yet give you the gist of what you're dealing with. The next story takes us into a certain shop that happens to have some interesting little sparkly, shiny items that a couple wants to buy each other stuff to make life a little better because they're having some problems with other issues in their life. And by doing that, you just so happen to possibly give up a little piece of yourself to get something for someone else. And yeah, there's other little stories in here. We got a nice little fallback to the Vault of Horror from the EC archives. Uh, Story two of a kind. And yeah, these are always enjoyable. And look at that spread. I love that 2-page. Just a family hanging out, eating some food, torturing some people. Yeah, such fun. Love the EC comic. Then our last one is Vampirella Helliday 2024 special, issue 1, with the infamous parody cover that's been done so many times from the Coppertone ads, I believe it is. But this is written by Frank Thierry, art by Marino Benitez Chapo and Pascual Gualano, colors by Jorge Sutil, lettered by Jeff Eckelberry, and editor Joseph Rybrandt. This was a lot of fun. We get basically a evil Santa story, and Vampirella just so happens to have to, or so happens to be out there searching for demons, and comes across this character and has to help a family dealing with them and the evil elves along the way. Here's an awesome 2-page spread of some evil reindeer getting their horns kicked in by Vampirella. But yeah, I don't want to give it away, but this is a great Christmassy one shot if you need something to read this coming Christmas. This would be a good one to pick up. I really enjoyed that. It's been a while since I had a Vampirella story that just made me happy to read. A lot of them lately are just getting too weird uh, with the siblings and all that. But that's it for today. So keep following Under the Cult of MS. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, give us those likes, and we'll be back with lots more reviews in the future. So keep checking out what we got out there, and we'll be back. Follow Under the Cult of MS. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, give us those likes. Check out Crimson Color Comic Club for our group podcast, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.